a lot in my life, you know. The way I kind of stepped back from Hollywood at one point, you know, being the highest paid actor in Hollywood, step back a little bit because I reached certain heights, you know, really good heights. One time I was highest paid actor, I think, in Hollywood, and I don't think anybody ever did what I did. I mean, turned down like, you know, hundreds of millions. Not
Oh, they all quit their jobs when they found out I was making $20 million. It's my, we rich. I was like, no, I'm rich.
At 53, Chris Tucker finally reveals why he vanished from Hollywood. And the truth comes as Epstein's name hits headlines again.
The agencies also say they found no evidence that Epstein blackmailed powerful people.
A leaked FBI memo claims Epstein died by suicide. No client list, no blackmail, no powerful names exposed. But Tucker's name has been linked to both Epstein and Diddy.
A new bombshell regarding disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein this morning. Axios obtained a memo from the DOJ that concludes Epstein did not have a client list and that he died.
Now fans are connecting the dots. Did Chris walk away to stay safe? Or was he forced into silence? His disappearance no longer feels random. It feels like a warning. So, let's get into it. Chris Tucker's return to the spotlight couldn't have come at a more suspicious time. As the entertainment world watches his every word, the rest of the country is engulfed in controversy over one of the most sensitive, high-voltage topics of the decade, Jeffrey Epstein. And somehow, some way, Tucker's name is tangled up in all of it.
Any high-profile figures may have been dreading has happened, as dozens of big names have been revealed in the first wave of late convicted ex-offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Kinda makes you wonder, right? Could Tucker have been going undercover at those infamous freak-offs to help Diddy? Or is there something way bigger happening here? Fans are starting to connect the dots, and it's looking like Tucker might have played a bigger part in this whole mess than anyone guessed. And recently, when Diddy's trial was in swing, it was revealed that some young celebrities were also seen at those parties. He reportedly stepped forward with explosive claims about evidence he allegedly saw. Courtney Burgess told News Nation's Banfield that he witnessed tapes showing 8 different celebrity victims, 6 male and 2 female, engaging in explicit acts with combs.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 male.
Burgess alleged that at least 2 of the individuals on the tapes were underage male stars, and he claimed that every person in the footage appeared intoxicated or otherwise impaired. His testimony raised serious questions about what other details may come to light in this ongoing case. He went on to claim that all appeared to be victims. According to Courtney Burgess, the witness in the Diddy ST probe, the number of underage victims might be even higher than he initially stated. While he first claimed 2 of the male celebrities were minors, he later revised his statement, suggesting 2 to 3 of the individuals were likely underage. Burgess also alleged that these explicit tapes were stored on 11 flash drives, which he said were handed to him by Combs' late ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter. This revelation added another layer of intrigue to the case, as it raises questions about what Porter may have known and why she allegedly preserved this evidence.
Also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake.
Burgess, who claimed to be a former associate of Kim Porter's from her time in Atlanta, has reportedly come forward with some serious allegations. He said Porter gave him 11 flash drives containing tapes of celebrities in compromising situations with Diddy, as well as a manuscript of her memoir detailing her years with the music mogul.
The friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids.
Burgess did not specify when or why Porter supposedly handed over the tapes, nor has it been confirmed whether he shared this material with investigators. Meanwhile, Combs faced federal charges including racketeering conspiracy and ST, accused of orchestrating freak-offs. violent encounters allegedly recorded without participants' consent.
8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females.
So the testimonies in Diddy's trial suggested that Diddy worked closely with Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein had his client list to which he might have aided the people. But the recent news regarding the client list is just making a frenzy all over the internet. Let's talk facts, suspicion, and the kind of Hollywood double standards that smell fishy coast to coast. Right now, it feels like we're living in a real-life political thriller. The Epstein client list, once seen as the ultimate smoking gun, is suddenly being treated like it never existed. The public's being told it was all just some wild conspiracy theory. But if that's true, then why are so many powerful people still acting like they've got something to hide?
The agencies also say they found no evidence that Epstein blackmailed powerful people.
Many names tied to Jeffrey Epstein, former associates, employees, friends, and alleged victims have recently been made public. These names were unsealed from a 24 lawsuit filed by Virginia Giuffre, a woman who says she was T-ficked by Epstein, against Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's ex-girlfriend and longtime associate. It's important to note that many of the people mentioned in the documents are not accused of any wrongdoing. In fact, many of them had already been named in earlier legal records or media reports. And here's the key point. Despite all the buzz online, these documents are not the so-called Epstein client list. That infamous list, the one people believe includes high-profile figures who may have been involved in criminal activity, has not been made public, if it even exists at all.
There's no one who's been arrested that she's to.
And that's what Aaron's saying. Well, there's a list that's out. Who knows if it's fake? I don't know. It could be a fake list.
In December 24, U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska found no legal justification for continuing to withhold the names of as many as 175 individuals allegedly connected with Epstein, ordering the unsealing to begin from January 1st, 2024. Some portions of the records will remain confidential, including those identifying people who were children when they were SAE'd by Epstein, who died by suicide in August 2019 in a federal prison in Manhattan as he awaited trial on ST charges.
New bombshell regarding disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein this morning. Axios obtained a memo from the DOJ that concludes Epstein did not have a client list and that he died by suicide.
But on July 7th, 2025, an unauthorized 2-page memo from the FBI and DOJ was leaked, claiming to bring finality to the Epstein saga. It made 3 bombshell assertions. Epstein died by suicide in August 2019. There is no client list implicating elites. No blackmail materials or coerced high-profile figures were ever found. The memo claims over 300 gigabytes of evidence was reviewed, documents, footage, logs, all sealed under the guise of victim privacy. And just like that, the door was shut on one of the most scandalous cases in modern U.S. history. But not everyone's buying it. The memo has thrown gasoline on the already burning fires of conspiracy. Conservative firebrands like Laura Loomer, Steve Bannon, and Alex Jones instantly labeled it a cover-up. What a massive, unforced error by the Trump administration, Enton said of the political crisis. The data guru noted that Trump, who typically fights controversy with fire, has been mostly mum on the issue. The president even shut down a reporter's question related to Epstein during a cabinet meeting this week. But it was Elon Musk's tweet that truly cracked the internet, calling it the final straw, and questioning whether the GOP itself was hiding something. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Trump interrupted. This guy's been talked about for years. We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things, and are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Things took a wild turn when Elon Musk jumped into the conversation in true Elon fashion by trolling Donald Trump on social media. In just one tweet, he hinted that Trump might actually be on the Epstein list. That single post caused a political storm. Musk said what many people were already thinking but were too scared to say. If so many rich and powerful people are linked to Epstein, then Trump, who was seen hanging out with Epstein several times, could easily be one of them.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public.
Earlier this year, after President Trump returned to the White House, Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI leaders promised they'd finally spill the tea on the Jeffrey Epstein case. For years, people have believed the government was hiding something, especially names of powerful people supposedly connected to Epstein. Then came a dramatic moment in February. 15 right-wing influencers were invited to the White House and handed big binders labeled The Epstein Files Phase 1. Sounds intense, right? Turns out, not so much. The influencers said the binders were full of stuff that had already been leaked online. Nothing new or juicy. Bondi later confirmed that the first batch of files mostly included old records that were never officially released by the government, but were already floating around in public anyway. So much for the big reveal.
When you peel back the layer and then what happened? The Trump administration, the last go round, decided, no, we're not going to let that go. We're going to investigate him, right? They charge him, they indict him.
Still, after Elon Musk and Mr. Trump had a falling out last month, the billionaire entrepreneur claimed that the administration had withheld the so-called Epstein files because the president was named in them. In response, Mr. Trump shared a social media post that rebuffed Musk's claim. The president told NBC News in an interview that any alleged links between him and Epstein were old news, and said he had not been friendly with the convicted S-offender for 18 years before his death. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt defended the administration's approach to Epstein's case on Monday, telling reporters that it is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged, at the President's direction, to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death, and they put out a memo in conclusion of that review, she said. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child porn. Graphy, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. When asked about the client list that Bondi said was on her desk, Leavitt said the Attorney General was referring to the entirety of all of the paperwork. All of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing.
The FBI and Justice Department said in their memo that the review confirmed that Epstein harmed more than 1,000 victims, each of whom suffered unique trauma. One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends, the memo said. The Justice Department and FBI added that while they have labored to provide the public with maximum information about Epstein and examine evidence in the government's possession, they determined that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. Now here's where the plot thickens, and where Sean Diddy Combs walks into the chaos. People are saying that Trump's name is in the list, that is why the list is not being released, and to save his own skin, he can pardon Diddy. Hollywood isn't sleeping, and the industry is beginning to sweat. With each passing day, the walls are closing in as sources leak more and more details about the high-profile players involved in everything from shady financial deals to dubious political ties. And then, of course, there's the explosive topic everyone's been waiting for: the release of Epstein's files. But it's not just about the infamous financier anymore. As the heat intensifies, whispers are circulating that Diddy, the mogul at the center of some of Hollywood's most scandalous rumors, might soon have his own files released.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing.
Last year, some sources claimed that Trump might soon release files revealing everyone connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And it might not stop there. Diddy's name has come up in these rumors. And now people are wondering, will Trump use his influence to expose the music mogul too? Just like he's been demanding the release of Epstein's full list of contacts.
They're all associates or associated with Diddy. And Diddy is indicted in New York, and he's awaiting trial for very serious criminal.
Donald Trump, always the wild card, has promised to release files that many have been waiting for. Files not just on Epstein and his twisted network, but also on other figures who have been moving in and out of the most elite circles in Hollywood. So this could involve Trump's name as well, and with Musk's tweet, it seems like it is confirmed. Donald Trump has always liked showing off his presidential power and getting involved in celebrity drama. Even though Sean Diddy Combs is facing serious allegations and is currently on trial for federal racketeering and SX trafficking, there's been talk for a while that Trump might pardon him. Now, Trump has said he's open to helping Diddy, someone he once called a good friend. Article 2, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution gives the president the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. That means the president can forgive federal crimes. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York have charged Diddy with 5 serious criminal counts. According to NBC News, these charges include: Diddy faces 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison, 2 counts of trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison and a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison, and 2 counts transportation to engage in prostitution, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. In addition to the criminal case, Diddy is also facing dozens of civil lawsuits. However, those are separate from the federal trial, and Trump has no authority to pardon anyone in civil cases. Still, Trump has said he's open to the idea of a pardon, although he claims no one has officially asked him yet. Trump said that no one had officially asked him about a pardon for Diddy, but he believed people were thinking about it, and that some had come very close to asking.
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it.
Trump said he hadn't been keeping up with Diddy's case, even though it's been all over the news. He admitted he'd take a look at what's going on, but said he and Diddy haven't talked in years. According to Trump, Diddy used to like him, but things changed when Trump got into politics. At least, that's what he's seen in the media. Diddy never told him anything directly. Still, Trump claimed that if he thought someone was being treated unfairly, he'd be willing to help, no matter how they felt about him personally. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some insiders think Trump might actually pardon Diddy if he gets federally indicted. Not out of loyalty, but because it could help Trump's image. He loves playing the outsider fighting the system role. Pardoning Diddy could get him attention, win him support from a new crowd, and distract the public, especially as rumors swirl about Trump possibly being linked to Epstein's files. To make things even messier, Diddy's former bodyguard recently made some wild claims. He said Diddy had help from politicians in shady dealings, and one name keeps popping up: New York Mayor Eric Adams. Coincidence? Or is something bigger going on?
Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
The backlash got so intense that Steve Bannon is now demanding a special prosecutor, and Dan Bongino, the FBI deputy director and longtime Trump ally, is allegedly considering resignation over how the Epstein files were handled. especially after his name surfaced in connection with missing surveillance footage from Epstein's final hours. Meanwhile, Trump aides are divided, with Chris Christie blaming Trump for fanning the flames and creating a base addicted to conspiracy. Trump himself has been oddly protective of Pam Bondi, the AG behind the memo, while simultaneously downplaying the Epstein conversation as a distraction. Trump, Diddy, Musk. Three powerful men caught in a whirlwind. Then came the twist. A new report from the Justice Department and FBI reviewed under Trump's own leadership now claims there is no Epstein client list. No blackmail evidence exists. No more charges are coming. Epstein died by case closed. Just like that, it's over. Or so they say. But the public isn't buying it. After years of investigations, shady connections, and rumors involving billionaires, world leaders, and celebrities, this sudden ending feels too clean. Why now? Why release this report right when public pressure and curiosity are at their peak? It looks more like damage control than closure, especially when figures like Joe Rogan and Ricky Gervais are questioning the official story, not silencing it. Let's not forget, Epstein didn't just have friends, he had files, flight logs, surveillance footage, offshore accounts. His island was full of hidden cameras. The man was known for gathering dirt on the powerful. And now they want us to believe none of it led to anything. No names, no charges, no secrets.
New bombshell regarding disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein this morning. Axios obtained a memo from the DOJ that concludes Epstein did not have a client list and that he died by suicide.
And the most damning part? Even mentioning this gets you labeled a conspiracy theorist. But that's part of the playbook. Discredit the messengers, bury the facts, and keep the public distracted. Whether it's Diddy's lawsuits, Trump's indictments, or Musk's social media chaos, it all serves one purpose: to make the public forget about the one story that actually scares the elite. Because if the real list came out, if Epstein's full web of clients, collaborators, and co-conspirators were exposed, it wouldn't just end careers. It would collapse industries, send billionaires to prison, and completely upend the power structure as we know it.
And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring them in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it?
The DOJ-FBI memo might be the government's attempt to seal the case forever. No list, no blackmail, no scandal. Just another dead man and a closed file. But to many, this so-called closure feels like a cleanup job, one that's shielding big names, hidden tapes, and very dirty secrets. And Tucker? He's walking a thin line. By speaking now but not saying too much, he keeps himself relevant, yet safe. But in a world where even Elon Musk is throwing shade at Trump and hinting at deeper corruption, how long can that safety last?
Tonight, as a bitter war of words develops between Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Chris Tucker's disappearance isn't just a Hollywood story anymore. It's a political, cultural, and possibly criminal mystery. As Epstein's ghost haunts the news cycle once again, and Diddy faces collapse, Tucker's carefully timed comeback is raising more questions than answers. And the biggest question of all, did Chris Tucker disappear to protect his soul, or to protect powerful men? That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.